Alright guys, I'm back. Before we get into the news, I actually have been sick for the last week, so I've actually been focusing on my main news videos for my channel. I want to get back into doing some extra content at some point, but until I get over this bug or whatever I have in my system right now, I'm just kind of focusing on my main stuff. So starting off here, we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro specs and release window reportedly leaked. So PlayStation 5, I think everybody already knows at this point that it's legit. It's coming. It's just a matter of time. Sony's rumored PlayStation 5 mid-gen refresh could allow for more massive graphical gains. And I posted on Twitter. I didn't think I was actually going to get this in video, but I posted on Twitter my thoughts on it. I personally am probably not going to buy one. But anyways, for you guys that actually care about this, let's get into it. But details on the rumored and unannounced PlayStation 5 Pro have reportedly leaked online alongside claims that the console is aiming for a Q4 2024 release. According to the YouTube channel Moore's Law is Dead and corroborated by Inside Gaming, PlayStation 5 specs include a high CPU frequency mode. By the way, the CPU is the same exact CPU in the base model PlayStation 5, so not much different there. It's just a bit faster. But the increase that the PlayStation 5 CPU by 10% to 3.85 gigahertz and a new GPU that is said to be capable of a 45% faster rendering, dramatically improved ray tracing effects. The GPU did get an improvement. They're also using their own version of DLSS. I'll go into that here in a second, but this GPU is claimed to be clocked at 33.5 teraflops, triple that of the standard PlayStation 5's 10.28 teraflops GPU. Although this doesn't equate to triple the power in a direct comparison, it also reported that this model will have a detachable disk drive, so the same as a slim model, so you'll be able to buy it separately and put it on, I guess. And the 1 terabyte storage capacity was specifically. What's especially interesting here is the claim of the new upscaling and anti-aliasing techniques called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution Upscaling. This is that DLSS equivalent that they have proprietary. They're putting in this new PlayStation 5 Pro, and they plan to improve on over time, so we may see this in the PlayStation 6. Similar to NVIDIA's DLSS and AMD's FSR solution to maximizing the potential of its hardware, temporal upscaling technology. So this is how they're gonna reach 8K. They're not gonna brute force it with hardware. They're gonna fake 4K it, I guess, until they eventually hit 8K, because it says on the box of the original PlayStation 5, if you guys paid attention to the branding on the box, it says 8K even though it can't actually push 8K. That's their target range for this generation of consoles. They want to eventually get there, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? They may get there by PlayStation 6. I don't know. Like 4K TVs, most people have one. I have one, but 8K is another level. So by the time 8Ks become common practice, 4K will probably be the standard. We're not there yet, but Sony has not yet commented on these reports, but if they are true, then the PlayStation 5 Pro could be released 4 years after the original PlayStation 5 first arrived in November 2020. Last year saw Sony expand on its hardware library with these and release PlayStation VR 2 and slimmer PlayStation 5 console and the PlayStation Portal handheld. And who knows, keep pushing this proprietary DLSS technology of theirs. We might actually see handhelds later from PlayStation with it. I would like to see a handheld from them again. An actual handheld, not the streaming BS that they have recently. Moving on. So next up here, it's a strange story, but LinkedIn is getting into gaming. LinkedIn is that job search site. It's a weird freaking world we live in, but the games are relatively simple. Basically, they're like puzzle-based games, but LinkedIn has confirmed that it is adding games onto its social media platform. However, no launch date has been announced yet. We're playing with adding puzzle-based games within the LinkedIn experience to unlock a bit of fun, deepen relationships, and hopefully spark the opportunity for conversation. 3 games that look to be in development are Queens, Cross Crime, and Blueprint. But LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, but it's unclear how much involvement it has over the initiative. Microsoft bought LinkedIn back in 2016 for $26 billion, a number that has yet since been dwarfed by the Microsoft-owned Activision Blizzard deal. I don't really need to go into much of that, seeing as we already all know how that turned out. But social media apps have experimented with gaming, including Facebook. The Facebook gaming app was shut down in October 2022. Since then, its parent company Meta has focused on virtual and augmented reality. With the release of various headsets, TikTok, which may or may not be around for very longer. I have an Instagram, guys, if TikTok does go under because of government intervention, but who knows where that's going. But TikTok has also ventured into the gaming space, as well as it has already conducted tests in Southeast Asia. Moving on. So next up, guys, Final Fantasy XIV or 14 on Xbox gets its own currency, introducing a brand new type of premium currency called FX14 coins, which is very original. But it's already known that Xbox Game Pass subscribers Core Ultimate is required to play Final Fantasy 14, but Square Enix reiterated that it is not a title in the services library. However, Final Fantasy 14 Starter Edition, which includes the base game, A Realm Reborn, and its 2 expansions, Heavensward and Stormblood, will be free for Ultimate subscribers until April 9th. Okay, but Final Fantasy 16 will launch on Xbox Series X and S March 21st. The expansion Dawn Trail is set to launch in summer 2022. The next expansion. The most recent expansion was 21's Endwalker. So you guys are looking forward to Final Fantasy 14 finally being on the Xbox March 21st. So Ubisoft has unveiled new Neo NPCs, a new prototype project that it says will create NPCs that can generate responses to player input. It will be revolutionary for gaming if they manage to do it. Ubisoft is using AI, hoping to create new kind of NPCs that players can have more in-depth conversations with beyond predetermined lines of dialogue. Ubisoft's Neo NPCs project is aiming to use generative AI to create NPCs that use their pre-written backstory and personality to create responses on the fly, aiming to create a real conversation, which will be wild if they're able to pull that off. As detailed in the blog post, Neo NPCs has been in the works as Ubisoft Paris utilizes NVIDIA's audio, two-face, and in-world large language models. The goal is to have narrative designers still create characters, writing their personalities and backstory, and teaching the models to react to players accordingly. The project is claimed to have barriers in place to prevent players from completely breaking a game or getting a profane reaction by using a profane input. That's wild. This is gonna be like gaming's kind of spun off into its own. This is going to be like really big for like open world for like this kind of technology if they manage to perfect it. But the NPCs created by the project won't have complete freedom to respond to players and are instead limited by their role in the story and their personal character arc, if they have one. As for players just feeding nonsense to the NPCs, data scientist Melina Lopez Mellet said that it would result in garbage in, garbage out. While the goal is ultimately to create NPCs that actively create their own dialogue on the fly, Ubisoft Senior Vice President of Production Technology Guillemette Picard has insisted that the AI initiative is still driven by people. She said that the project will only have value if it works for players, requiring that it still uses developers in their creativity. Ubisoft has said that the Project Neo NPC is only a prototype at its current stage. There's a long way to go before it can be used in a video game. The developer wants the tool to be flexible and scalable, with it working for both AAA games and smaller Ubisoft projects. So this tech is still in its infancy when it comes to AI. It has the potential to change open world games forever if it ever gets perfected. So crazy. Imagine talking to a character in your favorite RPG and actually having a full-blown conversation with them outside of pre-written dialogue. That's kind of insane just to think about, but basically what's going on here. Any news I don't get here, I'll post on my Twitter, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.
Check out both my Twitter for news I don't get in vid form. I also upload on TikTok and Instagram.